Good morning, Africa. Dear attendees, on behalf of the organizing team, I extend a warm welcome to all of you joining us from across Africa for the Get Ahead Week 2 Financial Statements webinar. We are thrilled to have you with us today as we delve into the intricacies of the financial statements. This is Sandrine Perma speaking to you from Mauritius. And throughout this webinar, we aim to provide you with valuable insights and practical knowledge that will empower you to navigate the world of financial statements with confidence. We encourage you to actively participate in the sessions. Please ask your questions to our expert who's currently logging with us, currently online with us. Your engagement will enrich the learning experience for everyone involved. I'll try my best to answer your questions, but definitely I will make sure that we answer your questions. Just see, thank you, Leanne. There's a little echo on my side. I'm just going to ask my team who's online to confirm whether we have echo on my side. Just confirm that on my side, all is fine. So I'm sorry, Leanne, if I can ask you to log out and come back in, I'm sure it is going to be better. Once again, everybody, welcome to the Get Ahead Week 2 of Financial Statements webinar. We're going to go through audit report and review management. Let's make this week and today a week of learning, growth, and success. A quick overview of what we will cover for today. We will go into the details of our audit report. How do you change the header? How do you remove subsidiaries, headings, and more? We are also going to go through the print settings. I've touched base very lightly last week, but this week, today, we're going to go into the details of it. We're going to go through the details of header and footer for your full document. Then for the managers online and also for you guys, the new intakes who aspire to become the managers, I'll show you and guide you through the review process, what are the different tools that we have. And also as a user, you might want to remove to review the file. Thank you, Leanne, for the feedback. I'm just checking on the chat box. It's working. Then end the session with a Q&A. I'll make my best to answer all your questions. So all of the attendees today are muted, but please, as mentioned before, feel free to use the question function. If ever you lose signal, exit, re-enter the webinar again, or you can also use your phone instead. Hello, Ashley. I'm well. I'm loving the interactions that we are having in the chat box. Really look ahead for all of that. I also have inserted in the go to the handouts. You have the presentation that I have on my screen is currently in your handout section. And I've also added a logo in the handout section. Before we move, we would like to launch a poll to understand whether you've been able to catch up from the recordings that we had shared with you on Monday. As requested by lots of attendees, we really wanted to make sure that we provide you with your recordings. It's all sent by email. So please do let me know if you have been able to receive the recordings or maybe you have not. It's all on our YouTube page. If you did not receive, please do let us know as well. in the chat box. We'll make sure to share this with you. Alternatively, you can also log on to YouTube in our channel, YouTube channel, register with our channel or follow. I don't know the lingo, how we say that, you follow our channel, and you can view all the different videos in there. We've got very nice videos around caseware working paper, SQM, and more. Going to leave the poll open for the next 20 seconds. Thank you all. I've seen most of you have received the video. Some of you keeping it for future use. That's 100%. 2 a.m. in the morning, you just want to catch up how to do the printing of your financial statements or to remove a header. That's the YouTube channel of Caseware or success.casewareafrica.com. All right, everybody, thank you so much for responding to the poll. I'm going to now close the poll for everybody. Now, let's dive into the subject of today's webinar. We've seen very high level last week how you can print your audit report. Today, this session is really going granular into the different sections of your financial statements. We're starting with the audit report, where you've got two options on your financial statements. You've got the default report, and the default report, if you're wondering, it is based on SAPS 3 Illustrative Audit Report, SAAPS 3 Illustrative Audit Report. We've got lots of firms that do a lot of changes or modifications to the template. As you've seen, it's everything is on a green background, meaning you can edit the wording, you can update the wording, you can hide some wordings if you don't want to print something. Alternatively, we've got also a bunch of firms who decide to use their own templates. Then they can insert the report as a picture on the financial statements. I remember back in the days when I was in corporate, I was preparing financial statements. I'm saying back in the days, guys, so I'm talking about 12 years ago. I was preparing the financial statements on Caseware. Then the auditor will ask us, okay, we need to insert the report, we will print it, and then remove the pages and change. Since 2 years ago, Caseware Africa has listened to the different requests of our clients, and we've inserted that option to insert as a picture. Now, you don't need to print, remove page, etc. Simply ask your auditor to share a scanned copy, a picture copy of their audit report, and then I'll show you in a few moments how you can add their report. So to add an audit report as an image, first of all, what you need to remember, each page will be represented by that logo image, that little plus icon. Quickly looking for my pointer as usual. So one page will be inserted for each logo, each of these little icons. Now, to add a page, to add a new logo, for instance, not logo, but image, you will then select add another image, and it is going to add another image just below so that you can add page number 2, for example. Or if you want to remove that icon, you can simply select remove last image button, and it is going to replace that image. Now, if you click on the add another image button, as mentioned, there will be additional placeholders included. And when you double click on the placeholder, you can then browse the image that you want to insert. So let me reiterate. By double clicking on that placeholder, that little image, it will open the dialog box picture object. This will allow you to browse to the location where you have saved the audit report from your auditor. Recommended best practice is then to ensure the picture is embedded in the document, either even you're collaborating. Yesterday, we've seen the collaboration capabilities in cloud, and if you don't have cloud, the smart sync. So by embedding, it makes sure that everybody will see that image, whether you're in Mauritius, in South Africa, in Botswana, in Zambia, wherever you are, you'll see the image. You also need to ensure that the settings are as follows to ensure that the page layout is correct in your financials and that the image is correctly embedded. So I'll share that slide with you. Please do keep it. That's an important part of the settings in the picture object. We also have rather on Caseware community, success.casewareafrica.com, a very nice page on how to embed or to insert an image as a report in the financial statements. You can go to the community and simply type how to embed an image as a report in the financials. Alternatively, I'm going to try to share with you these on the chat box. Okay. So no, it's not pulling here, but definitely, yeah, it's on Success Community. You can find all the details of how to embed. Guys, today we're not really going into the financial statements itself. It is mostly presentation on my PowerPoint slide, but please feel free to open your Caseware working paper, wrap-up Manufacturing Limited, the financial statements engagement file, and then you can also, as I explained, go through and try, if you have one handy, try it on your side, and then I can assist you if you have any questions. Now, the next part is the signature area. In the audit report, we're still in the audit report. The signature area can be customized. So for instance, if you click anywhere on your independent audit report, I'm going to give you 1 minute to go through, if you want, to go into your financial statements, open it, and then move to independent auditors report, or go to independent auditors report. Then we're going to go into the settings and format of the report. I see your question, Godfrey. Are you proposing that you guys commit to the width 17 centimeter, height 22 centimeters to memory? I'm loving your question, Godfrey. So that's our suggestion. And as you start using Caseware working paper, it will become like a normal thing. But please do remember, Godfrey, I love your question. You also have success.casewareafrica.com, the community, where you've got all the details of the setting up of your audit reports. not the setting up, but the image. Whilst I'm giving you guys the option to open Caseware working paper, I will go through some of the questions that we have. So Toinette, you would like to receive the link for the learner files for this week. So for today, I've shared with you the handouts in the chat box. And because tomorrow is based on audit, so we haven't shared with you too many emails, not to confuse. So what we need to do is share with you as we progress the handouts in the chat box. You're welcome, Godfrey. So we've got a very, very nice question from Valentine. With the implementation of IFRS 17 insurance contracts, has Caseware incorporated the standard in the presentation of the financial statements for companies which issue insurance contracts to be in line with the format for presentation of insurance contracts in the financial statements? 100% Valentine, we have done that. We've got a template for IFRS 17 that has been developed by our consulting team. Please do, we'll definitely come back to you. I'm going to ask your account manager to come back to you on that one. All right. Another question from Karabo. So you can't see your property settings on the financial statements and it doesn't have the signature area. Okay, that's fine. Let me go into Caseware working paper and financial statements case view document, and we'll do that together. And by the way, guys, as requested, we'll have a 10 minutes break every hour, just for a body break, just to grab a cup of coffee or water, and then we'll come back. So in less than 45 minutes. So I trust that you all have your financial statements open if you want to try the different workings. So what I'm showing on my screen, you want to try it as well. I hope that you do have this open on your screen. If we go to independent auditors report, remember how to use the different options on Caseware to go faster. We can use the go to menu, then independent auditors report. I'm going to select this report will be included as a default report. That's the number one. And then anywhere on my audit report, I can simply select. Remember also the best practice. If you want to do a change to a section or a page onto financial statements in Caseware, remember to click on the section that you want to perform your change. Then go to settings and format, that green cartwheel on your gray ribbon on the top of the screen. Select settings and formats, and you should see your signature area. I hope, Karabo, that you've been able to locate your settings and formats. And if you have a look at my screen, if you should follow my cursor, top middle of the screen, my settings and format dialog has a title, Independent Auditors Report. That's how you know that you are in the correct page, that you're looking at the correct properties of a particular section or page. In here, in that scenario, it is for Independent Auditors Reports. Now, for the signature area, You can change, for instance, the spacing to be included, the spacing before the signature place and date, the spacing before name of practice of firm. You can also use the standard signature area or the editable signature area according to your needs. Once you have done the modification, to apply the modification, we're going to select on OK. Oh, all right, Karabo. Thank you for that precision. You are currently on the IFRS for SME. And the go-to is also, I'm just quickly trying to read your question, doesn't show the independence report option. Then alternatively, if you don't see that, Karabo, you can go to view a document map or scroll through to your audit reports. Yes, Ashley, you can also follow through this session and it will definitely help you for your IFRS for SME. I'm going to make sure to assist you with the IFRS for SME report. I'll make sure when I comment something which is different from full IFRS that I do the same thing for IFRS for SME. I'm quickly also going through some other questions. I see some of them are correctly answered. Hello, Dylan. Yes, you won't see. That's the go-to functionality. You don't see other people's questions, but you can interact with me if you have any questions. Alrighty, I'm just quickly checking on Karabo, if you've been able to locate. We'll definitely come back to your question, Karabo. Just now, if you still can't see your audit report, I'm coming to you. We are coming back to you in a few moments. On top of the signature area in your audit report, you also have the option to update or to set up your letterhead. So it can either be a pre-printed letterhead, like the default selection, or alternatively can be an electronic one. So I'm going to discuss the differences between the two. You also have the option to increase the space before the page title to ensure that your letterhead will print. If it is a pre-printed option, it forces you to use an image onto your audit report. Then you also have the option to show header lines, that bar that will show on the top of your audit report. If you don't want the header lines to show, you can deselect. If we stay on the header settings, in the event you don't want to use an image on your case view document, then we can select the other option for the type of letterhead, which will be electronic. So I'm going to come back to the footer settings, but let's explore in more details the header settings in our audit report. Again, going into settings and formats, under header footer, you've got several options. The electronic option, where you can also select to use an image and then select on the alignment of the image. Alternatively, you can say it is going to be pre-printed on a paper. I need the 2 centimeter spaces before the page title. And of course, let me deselect this as a pre-printed 2 centimeter before. I've deselected the use image because I don't want to insert the logo here. And press on OK. Just give it a few moments. It will execute script. And here we go. You've got 2 centimeter spaces on the top of your independent auditor's report, and it's also informed you that the letterhead has been skipped. So you're expected to have a pre-printed letterhead. You're just going to launch the printing and insert the letterhead for your independent auditor's report. Going back to my presentation, if we move to the footer settings, so you also have different types of footer settings. You can choose for the first page and any subsequent pages. Whether you will use an image, this is already selected. Deselect if you don't want to use the image on your footer. The alignment of image in the event you use the image. Then the footer line, if you don't want to print the footer line, that will be that long line that shows on your audit report bottom part, then you can deselect. If we go further on using the built-in logo, so you might decide, so you've seen the pre-printed one, that's quite straightforward. That's the easiest way to proceed. You've already have a printed letterhead and you don't need anything on your financial statement. Alternatively, if you want to use the built-in logo option to insert the logo, make sure that you use image, that it is selected under engagement properties. We're going to do that together. And then you're going to insert. And we're going to double click to insert. Now, if I press on escape to go in the auditor's report, independent auditor's report, let's open again settings and format. And then go to header footer. The pre-printed option means that it's already printed onto your letterhead, your physical, your paper that you have at your office. It's already printed in there. So when you're going to print that full FS or only those pages for independent auditor, you all already have your letterhead pre-printed on a paper. The electronic one allow you, when you select electronic, it allows you to then use the image. You can then say, okay, I'm going to insert my logo on the independent auditor's report. I hope, Rose or Jose, that I've been able to answer your question around the difference between the two. Oh, wow. Thank you, Karabo. You've managed to get to the independent auditor's report. Thank you so much for that feedback. Ashley, I hope also on your side that you've been able to locate your independent auditor's report. Please do let us know if you need any assistance. Okay, let me go back to the engagement properties. Second last properties, header footer. The type of letterhead that we want to illustrate today is the electronic one. We want to insert our logo. The image to use should be selected. Now, on subsequent page, if you don't want to use the image, you want to say it's pre-printed, and I don't want any spaces before, you can choose, you can make your own selection. Use image. The alignment of your image you can use whether left, center, or right. And I'm going to keep the header long. These are the properties if I want to insert my practice logo on the financial statements of Caseware. Let's press on OK. And then it's going to execute script. And then we are going to insert the logo by double-clicking on the picture object on that practice logo. Double-click and it should open your picture object dialog. What we want to do now is browse to the location of our logo. If I click on browse, I have shared with you a picture. So you can, a logo, you can use that one or use your current logo. So I'm going to go and quickly fetch that particular logo. Here we go. As recommended, I will select embed picture in document. If you want to resize your picture or format the logo to fit, then you can allow that resize picture. The technology is going to resize the picture. Alternatively, you can decide yourself on the width and height of your logo. Your marketing team or your team must give you these different information. Please do ask the relevant people, and then you can select the appropriate height for your logo. Hello, Blanken. Thank you for your question. 100%. Please do go to the handout section. I've got a logo there. You can then download that and do the steps as I'm doing as well. Sarah, I'll be coming to your question just now. We are going to look at the footer of subsequent pages of the audit reports. For now, I'm just giving you guys 1 more minute to complete and import or download the logo from the handout section of GoTo. Then make sure you save it on your computer and try to browse to your picture, to that little logo. I'm loving the questions in the room. Really very interactive question. Thank you for that. If you're done with browsing and embedding your picture, making sure that you resize your picture to make sure that it fits in here nicely, you can press on OK. And your logo is going to pull onto your independent auditor's report. So Brandon, you can see the option of having an electronic one. The pre-printed one's going to be a bit difficult for me to show you because you need to physically print the financial statements on a paper with a logo on it on the paper itself. So it's going to be a bit tricky. But for this one, an electronic one, we've inserted the logo that you can view on the screen. If we continue on the logo, the different logo options, we are now going to move to how to remove the header on the second page of the audit report. I think I've already mentioned that to you. So on the financial statements, settings and format for your report of independent auditor, you can then select under header footer tab, properties, and tick the option attach header on subsequent pages. This is going to make sure that you don't have any logo on subsequent pages. Now, if I press on escape, let's go back to the financial statements to illustrate that bit. Let's press on settings and format. And then under header footer, deselect the use image for subsequent page. This is going to make sure that we don't have any image in subsequent page. If you don't want to show the header line as well, you can decide for the subsequent pages. Now I'm going to some questions in the chat box. So if you don't want to scroll down, thank you, Shelter, for your question. If you don't want to scroll down to the independent auditor's report, then what you can do is use your go-to menu to go to your independent auditor's report. And Shelter, if you are on the full financial IFRS template, that is going to be a straight task. But if you are on IFRS for SME, kindly ensure that in your info store, you have selected to include independent auditor's report. Then you can use the go-to option, or alternatively, you can activate your document map under view document map, and then you can scroll through on the left of your screen to jump to your independent auditor's report. Now, I went into auto mode whilst I was talking. Now I'm coming back to your question, Taro, which is a very nice question. I think we can all learn from his question. The question is, Can we limit footer to the first page instead of all pages of the audit report? The same way we can limit the header to the first page. And that's a very, very good question. For this, if you scroll through to the bottom part of your auditor's report, that one you need to scroll through a bit. If you scroll just a bit, after your signature area, there's an option there which says change footer logo that explains to you how you would modify and change the footer of your subsequent pages. So if you wish to do that, then show you that you can do that under Document tab, Modify, and select the Modify Independent Auditor or Independent Audit Report footer, and then you can decide, okay, I don't want to add anything or a logo or whatnot. This is for your subsequent page, so you can go through and read through, and this also apply to your IFRS or SME. All right, I don't see any other question that I've missed. I think the Caseware experts are very helpful in answering the different questions. So now let's move to the next part of the presentation. The next section is now the configuration of the entire document, the header of your financial statements. If you should follow my dear pointer, the header of this document has the name of our engagement. So remember, this is pulling from engagement properties operating name. That's the name of our client. Then we also have the registration number, the trading as, the trading name of wrap-up manufacturing, then the name of the statement, that one is called financial statements for the year ended. Then as part of the header, we also have here the balance sheet and other P&L or statement of financial, statement of comprehensive income, your SOCI statement of changes in equity, your statement of cash flow, and these are all parts of the different headers. The accounting policies, that's another example of a header that we might want to configure. When I talk about configuring, it can be that you might want to remove those lines. And this is what we call the header lines. Remember, we are focusing on the full document. You might also want to change the justification of this header. You might want this to be center justified. You might want to change the indentation or the style of the header. And you've got different rows that you might want to go granular to perform a change. So to configure the header on your case view financial statements, you need to go to the document menu on your freeze, document, then select configuration header. The configuration of the header will then open the header dialog where you can access the properties of all the rows that I've just mentioned to you. All these rows, let me go back a little. All these rows, all the properties of these can be accessed under document configuration header. If you want to remove a header line, for instance, then you can deselect, and remember, it's a document properties. So you're being consistent, you're removing the line across your full documents. Isn't that efficient? I remember back in the days, I'm talking like, okay, 20 years ago, I was doing that manually on a manual document. And you had to go page per page, make sure that you remove it. Sometimes the client want to add it, so you have to go back and add it again. Now it's all automated, just one screen where you control everything. Now, when you deselect the header line, when you remove that, it is that line, black line, under all your different document name that will be removed. Same for balance sheet in the example that I've showed you before. If you deselect the header line, this is what will disappear. Now, if we go granular in our header, if we look at the header row 1 to 5, when we talk about row 1 to 5, it relates to the different items that you have on your header of your financial statements. Now, row 1 refer to the page number. I think that's self-explanatory. I don't need to delve into that one. Row 2 relate to the entity name and its subsidiaries. So that will be the Wrap-Up Manufacturing Limited. So if you deselect that, it will not appear across your financials. The row 3 option relates to the former name. In my scenario, as you can see, I did not highlight anything because on the information store, I did not insert any former name. Hence, it is not showing on the financial statements. What I'm trying to convey to you guys, if you don't see something printing on financial statements, remember the source of your information, either engagement properties or information store. So if I don't have former name on info store, it's not printing here, even if it's on. Row number 4 relates to the registration number. Again, that is the registration number inserted on information store. If you did not insert it there, go back, go to info store, and you can fill it up. Trading as is currently selected as on. It is shown on a separate row. I did not mention that. I hope that you've seen it on my screen. And also shown separate rows. So it is printing on a separate row like trading as Wrap-Up Manufacturing. If you want it to be printed to another row, like not on a separate row, it will then move to row 3 next to the former name, if there is any former name. Then we have row 6 to row 9. Row 6 relates to the period. So that's what's highlighted on my screen, where you have the financial statements for the year ended 30th of April 2023. So for whatever reason, if you need to unselect it, then it will not print here. The statement name and the it's not the right one selected here, but the statement name will be the name of the statement. It should have been here. Statement name, I've missed one. Statement name will be the name of accounting policies, balance sheet, and all. The group headings, company headings, that will be this option to display group and company. Now, if you're using your full IFRS template, sometimes some clients ask for multiple rows for whatever reason they want to disclose several stuff. You might want to deselect the group and company headings. Finally, the year headings, that one I'm sure you do understand this. This is the year that is printing everywhere onto your main reports and your accounting policies and notes. That's the row number 9. Now, to configure the footer, this again, same drill as a header. If ever you want to make a change to the full document, remember the document menu on your freeze, on your Caseware case view menu, document configuration footer, where you can change different items. For instance, you might want to change the way your footer line prints if you don't want it to print. If you don't want to see the date and time, you can deselect. The client path, for whatever reason you want to see the client path. Also, the wording from the detailed income statements onwards, that these statements does not form part of the financial statement and is audited, you can also use that wording. Or alternatively, you can change the wording. Now, before moving to the next part of the this session, I'm going to go through the different questions and see the different questions. We've got 6 minutes before a short break. So I see a very nice question from Yusuf. Thank you. Hello, Yusuf. So the question is, how do we run off without distorting the figures in the financials? Also, how can we make all the figures in the financials, for example, billions, show without rounding off? So I'm going to start with the second part of your question, Yusuf. For your rounding options, this is just to answer the question because we're here into that conversation of rounding. Now, in the updated template, you will notice that your receivables and payables notes are not notes, but yeah, notes and line item is automatically inserted. You don't have a choice for that because the rounding will then pull to these options. I'm sure that you know how to do the rounding, document configuration rounding. Now, this function rounds the balance sheet, and I'm quickly looking for, in the event, you want the rounding for your thousands and millions and billions. So for billions, Yusuf, the recommended best practice will be to round your financials. There is no, we can, at the moment, you have to show it with rounding. And I'm not sure what you mean without distorting the figures in the financials. By going to document configuration rounding, this option ensures that it doesn't distort anything. Maybe we can also set up a session with our support consultants to help you see what's distorting your financials. Make sure that we do assist you. But yeah, no, that option works straight, and the rounding here, it says the limit is 3 USD and it is going to my trade payables. Right. So it's 3 minutes to noon on my side. Remember, I'm from Mauritius. It should be 3 minutes to the hour on your side. Let's take a break now of 10 minutes, body break, and then we are going to come back in and continue with the review section of our engagement file. Do enjoy your break. See you at 10 minutes past the hour sharp on your side. Welcome back, everybody, from this 10-minute short break, body break. I hope that you've been able to catch a cup of coffee or some water. Before we move to the review management part of our session, I'd like to go again with through the questions. I see some questions relating to the rounding. So we are going to ensure that we cover, we're actually having a session on the 4th of April relating to the rounding off, the reconciliation of the statement, of your cash flow, of your notes. So we are going then to cover this section. I just want to manage expectation for what's following. We are going to continue with the review management and we'll be done within an hour or less. We'll be done with that particular section. So it's going to be a shorter session than a 3-hour session. So please do follow through this if you're really involved into reviewing your file, or if yourself you want to know and understand how to review your financial statements in Caseware. So let's start with the different options that you have on Caseware working paper. So by default, the first option that you have on your financial statements is the editing enabled mode. That's the drafting mode. And remember, that is where you can type in information. You'll see stuff printing in blue or appearing in blue. That means it doesn't print. What will appear in black will print, and a red also will print. That's the drafting mode. And if you are first year, that's the mode into which you're going to work, because you must be able to insert the information relevant to your client. The review enable mode allows you to preview your financial statements, but with technology, meaning that you can do a drill down, you can jump easily to a section. We will not discuss today about builder mode and design mode, but just to inform you that you have 2 other modes available. The builder mode allows you to build onto your AFS mode, and the design mode, this is available to our champions that help you to build further your financials. To activate the review enable mode, again, we will go to the document menu on your case view tab, not case view tab, sorry, but on your freeze on the gray bar, select review enabled. By selecting review enabled, this will hide all those items in blue and also hide all those stuff that shouldn't print. You can still go through a drill down. We're going to discuss about drill down next week. You can still edit some green backgrounds. If you see a green background, if you want to change a word, you can still do that. And if ever you need, you can also go through your lead sheet drill down by clicking on 305. Now, remember that you can also jump to the note by selecting the red icons that allow you to jump easily to the notes. To deactivate that lead sheet drill down, if you don't want to see that, because usually the question that I have for a support case or, just a quick question, Sandrine, but I don't want to see my lead sheet printing, how to remove it. So you can go to your print profiles and then select external final. Last week, we've touched base on that, but the printing option will also be covered in the different sections, in the next sections in the weeks to come. Now, let me go to the financial statements and show you how to proceed with the different modes. So before I go in here, I've got a very interesting question from Google. What is the difference between review note and print preview, which is the paper with the magnifying glass icon? Thank you, Google, for that question. If you press on print preview, it's just like a paper. You'll just be able to scroll through and check. So let me do that with you. If I click on print preview, it will show me what is going to print. Now, because my cursor was on balance sheet, I will be able to print preview balance sheet in a few moments. Remember to be patient. If you see executing script when you print preview or do any other task, do not force shut down or any other. You have to wait for the script to be executed. Right, the print preview is about to pull up. So here we go. So Google, that's the print preview option. What can you do with the print preview option? Is simply scroll through, use the page navigation button to jump to the different pages and look through. If I go to my statement of financial position or balance sheet here, I want to drill to my property, plant and equipment. I want to make sure, because remember, we are reviewing. So if I right click, I try to drill onto that, I can't see anything. If I try to click on the number 3 to jump to the node, I can do it from that print preview. Now, if I press on escape, let's escape that print preview. In the reviewing enabled mode, if you go to document review enabled, how beautiful this is. Now, what can you do from here? Right click, drill down. Oh, I'm a reviewer. I'm checking out the different line items that has been mapped to property, plant, and equipment line. I want to jump to the notes, loans to my shareholders. I can press on the note number 6 and boom, here we go. There's the loan, there's the different items. In the pre-preview mode, you still can change some items. It's limited, but you can still bring in your different changes. Like here, for that shareholder 3, my team member hasn't inserted the terms and condition, and if I know it, I can then come and type in payable as per whatever. So you're just gonna type in whatever you need to type. However, it is again, like mentioned, limited. If you want to see additional rows like those in blues, you have to go back to editing enabled. What you can further do here, remember from our session last week, if you want to change the name of a particular item, you simply right-click properties, other, I want to change the number 3, I just want to say shareholder, press on other, I want to rename that shareholder 3 to shareholder, press on OK, and boom. That's the beauty of your review mode. Hope I did answer your question, Google. Now, what's also interesting here, all those rows, all those columns. So, for example, if you go to statement of changes in equity, all those items that you don't need to print have been hidden. If, for instance, I don't need to print the narration area, I can simply turn it off by using the arrow button. Now be careful. All right, thank you, Gugu. So now be careful when you hide in review mode. Don't panic because it is going to be hidden completely. Because remember, you are doing like a print preview, but advanced. So for instance, here I've hidden my narration area. To get it back, simply go back to Documents, Editing Enabled, and boom, you get all your different blue items showing, and you can turn on again your narration area. This is applicable for any note, any section that you had in review mode. If you want to get it back, make sure that you're back on reviewing enabled, editing enabled. Because we're still under the review option and we go back to reviewing enabled, I also want to mention in the editing, the review mode, you also have limited options activated under the different menu on the top of your screen. If you look for document, for example, the document menu, you can't see the full formatting of your document. You will not be able to see configuration options. And this is because you are currently under reviewing enabled mode. Okay. Now we've got a very interesting question from Anna. Thank you, Anna. Hello. So the question is, remember, we're here today to learn from each other. So I love your questions, and it's really nice to have your interaction. The question is, how do I turn off the column, I suppose that column, with figures, with codes before your note number that appear when you do a print preview? So this column can be removed under Options, your print profile, select your external final. These codes that you call it, these are your lead sheet number. So if you click on it, it allows you to see the details of what has been mapped to the line item. If you are in auditing, it allows you to see any comments from your manager, bottom of the screen, any annotations that has been performed. I agree with you. In a final version of your financial statements, you don't want to see those codes or these lead sheet number. Now you know it's a lead sheet number. You don't want these lead sheet numbers to print. So you then go to Options, Print Profile, External Final. Please rest assured, we do cover printing all your financial statements in our Get Ahead series. So we're looking forward for you guys to be part of this amazing series coming in the weeks to come. But Nolo, that's the end of the question around printing. Okay, I'm going to answer your question because we're nearly at the end. So I do have the capability to answer your question. So to benefit others, the question from Banalo, thank you, Banalo, is I want to remove the draft watermark when I send a draft FS to the client. So this can be done still under the print profiles. If you go to print profiles, I'm sure that you have selected external draft. Now to remove the watermark, you will go to Edit Profile. Again, Options, Print Profiles, Edit Profile. And if you look at your external final, this is where you can remove the watermark. You simply deselect the option, the print option watermark, and it will not print. I'm loving your questions. I'm really looking forward for you using to the fullest your financial statements and benefit from this amazing technology. I hope, Anolo, you've been able to find your way around removing the drafts watermark. Now, remember one last item on reviewing enabled mode. Once you're happy with all the review that you've done, of course, you're going to print. Do remember to go back documents editing enable to the original status. In the event you hand the file to your team members or you collaborate with a junior team member so that they have the full FS, and if there is any changes, they can do it. That was the reviewing enable mode, how you can review your different financials, making use of the different drill downs. We're also going to the details of the use of different drill downs in the series in the coming weeks. So that's a gift time period. I'm looking forward to that one. We've got a question for you. You can read the question. However, the correct answer should have the correct namings and the relevant steps. We are going to send out gifts every Monday. The marketing team's gonna make sure that we send out the different gifts. So we'll scroll through the different answers, making sure that we select the right answer. Now, how do you remove, the question is, how do you remove the header line across the financial statements? You can use the chat box to insert your answer, which should contain the menu name and the relevant steps. Take your time, write it correctly, and you should receive a gift by next week. And of course, it's the first answer, correct answer, will receive the gift. Giving you some time to answer this question. Has to be the full step. What do you click on? On one line, you can type the full step. Just make sure that it's nicely. Yes, in the chat box, 100%. Use the chat box to give your answers. Yes, I can see quite a bit. So, Bonolo, you can use the chat box to insert your answer. I'm loving it, guys. The competition is there. Remember, we want the right, correct, relevant step. Fully. Oh, you're not able to access the chat box, Petrona, but you're typing wherever you type in, you can type the answer there itself. Shaona. That's a very beautiful name. Google that same chat box where you type which one is the chat box there itself. Laika, you do have access to the chat box because you were able to type in your, I don't know, on my side it's called chat box, maybe on your side it's called question box. Wherever you've typed in your question or your comment, you can type in there your answer. I'm going to close the gift time now. I'm so excited to go through and personally send you an email and say congratulations that you've received your gift. I still need to go through and make sure that we select the right one. But guys, thank you so much for your participation, for all the different questions and for your answers. We're now moving to the webinar feedback survey. We're going to take a few moments to complete the survey. That's extremely important for us because we really want to make sure that we provide you with what's relevant for you and also the best services. So please do bear with me. I will share with you the link to the survey just now. I'm still online. I'm simply looking for the survey link that I will insert in the chat box. And please do stay with us. I'm sharing with all of you the survey for your filling. So we're going to stay together for the next, should not take you more than 3 minutes to complete, not even less. Please do insert your recommendation, what you want us to do going forward. If you've loved the session, please do insert your comment in there. If you're online with us or just joining us now, we have inserted a webinar feedback survey in the chat box. Please click on the form. You can instantly fill the form. We make sure that we go through the form, through the feedback, so that we can provide you with the best of the best. Three more minutes for the survey, and then I'll take you through the program for the next weeks to come. All right. Whilst you're continuing to fill in your survey or our survey, let me take you through what is next. What can you expect in the next sessions? So tomorrow, those of you using Probe Audit and Audit International, be prepared for an exciting hands-on topic, which is the stock count attendance. We're going to go granular in assisting our new intakes of how to perform stock count attendance, what to consider, what are the impacts if you have an estimate. So it's going to be really, and I really look forward to host Audit International for you. Probe Audit will be hosted by my colleague Renee, and she's as excited as I am. On the 7th of March 2024, we're going to cover the content management, how to turn on notes, how to set up your cover page or director's reports. We're going to go granular into the details of building up, making sure that you can bring the contents of your financial statements. Then on the 8th of March, we're going to go into one of the most interesting topics of probe and audit, which is the cash and cash equivalent. We've got hands-on examples for you We've prepared step-by-step guide. We've even are going to guide you how to fill up your audit procedures that you have in Pro and Audit International. So that's the end of this amazing session of today. We are going to end the session now. I'll go through the questions. I'll leave the session open for the next 5 minutes. Please do not hesitate to use the chat box. Connect to Success Community to ask any questions to our team using the chat box. You can also connect to our YouTube page, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. Looking forward to connect with you all. Thank you for your kind attention. Thank you all for your participation, every one of you. It was an amazing session today. Looking forward to be with you tomorrow. I'll stay here for the next 5 minutes going through the different questions. Please have a productive day today. See you all.